Hey guys, Taylor here. We're going to take a look at our first little skill video for you guys. You can see I'm here in a bathroom at my house that I have done a renovation on. I'll put some before pictures up also so you can see the before and after. But you can see we did a new shower, new floors down here that you can see, new vanity. And what I'm working on right now is when I grouted the tile the other night, my grout was too wet, and when it dried, it cracked. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So if we get up here and we look along the back side of the shower, let's see, here's a good spot right here. You can see in these grout lines right up in here, you can see those cracks that have formed, and that's because there was too much water in the grout, and when it dried, it pulled apart. So what I'm doing now is I'm going back over this with a drier mixture of grout, and you can see right here I've just come over top of it. I'm going to show you this in a sec, but I've come over top of this with that drier mixture, just smushing it in. I've got a heavy duty rubber glove on that I'm using to just press this into the seams, and then I'm going to come back over top of it with a wet sponge and clean it up. So I'm just going to get a glob of the grout on the finger of my glove, and then I'm going to just work it back and forth to get it down into that grout line, just like that. And so I'm gonna work my way around this entire shower border doing this, but I'm gonna do it a little bit at a time so I can come back before the grout dries too much and clean it up with my sponge. So we're going to work it into those seams like this. And now we're going to come down, and I've got a bucket of water down here in the shower with a sponge in it. I'm going to get this sponge wrung out so that it is almost dry, and then I'm going to come back and wipe over that part to smooth out the grout lines and clean up all the extra. So here's my sponge. It's damp and wrung out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up here on this section that I have not cleaned up yet. You can see I've already done this lower section, and you can see how nice and clean those grout lines look. And I think those are gonna dry up pretty nice for me. So I'm gonna come back now, and I'm gonna just start right here, and using just a gentle circular motion, I'm gonna work my way up along here, and you can see as I'm going, I'm doing two things. Number one, I'm cleaning the extra grout off of the surface of the tile, and number two, I'm cleaning up the grout lines. So you can see that those grout lines, if you look here in the center, that grout line right there is nice and smooth. Over here on the edge, you can see it's still a little chunky. So I need to spend a little more time with my sponge on that section to smooth that out. And now you can see that that is much smoother. I've got all the excess grout cleaned up, and maybe a little bit more right there. You can see those are cleaned up nice. So I'm going to repeat that process going around the entire border of the shower, fixing those grout lines, getting them cleaned up. And then I'm going to let those dry overnight, and I'm going to come back tomorrow and buff off the excess residue on the tiles, and then I will be ready to come back and caulk along the seams between the tile and the wall, and between the tile and the tub surround. And I'll show you how we mask that off with tape and get that caulking done and all cleaned up to finish out this shower remodel.